Hey guys, this is singer-songwriter and music producer Tanooj Saini from 12 Strings Production Studios. In this video, I'll be sharing a few tips and tricks on how to set up a basic home studio and the various factors that are involved that would lead to better results. So if you're a singer, voiceover artist, a musician, and you're looking to record your own tracks at home, this is the video for you. Keep in mind that the tips mentioned in this video are of my personal workflow, and if it works for me, it just might work for you. So let's get started. So considering the current environment, more and more artists are trying to create content at home, and it starts with singers and voiceover artists who are recording their own tracks and sending it out. So if that is who you are, I'm going to assume that we don't know much about audio production, and we'll start from the ground up. In this video, I'm going to try and simplify the studio building process. First would be the equipment selection. In this case, you would be looking at hardware, and depending on your personal use case scenarios, this would change. Second would be the DAW or the digital audio workstation like Logic, Ableton, Pro Tools. You would have heard these terms before. This is basically nothing but software that is used to record and edit your tracks. Now let us look at the equipment that you would require to get you up and running. Basically, you will first need an audio interface. Now, this is basically used to take your microphone input or your instrument input and send it to your computer or your DAW, and then receive the output that is coming from the computer and route it to your studio monitors or your headphones, whatever it is that you're using. Now, depending on your budget and your use case scenario, there are many audio interface options to choose from, and they vary in different features. And there are a lot of complicated things also that these audio interfaces are nowadays doing. So I'll just have a completely different dedicated video for audio interfaces put together. A quick tip here: in case you're a singer or a voiceover artist, music producer who does a lot of audio recording work, and that is your core focus, in that case you want to kind of invest in an audio interface that has high quality input preamps. Even if it is one or two inputs, it should be of a high quality. However, it is also important to note that over the years the audio technology has become extremely good, and it's to the point where high quality results can be achieved irrespective of your budget or your high-end gear selection and stuff like that. The next thing you would need would be a good quality microphone. After all, that's going to be the voice for your voice. And here the common way to go would be to get yourself a good XLR condenser microphone. A cardioid pattern microphone typically captures more tonality frequencies, and you will get more input gain out of it also. But if at all you are in an environment where it is very noisy, or you cannot control the ambient sounds, be it the air conditioner or your CPU making sound, or just lot of noise going on in the background which you cannot kind of get over, in that case your best case scenario would be to get a dynamic microphone, a high quality dynamic microphone that would typically yield you better results just controlling that noise flow. Again, we'll have a in-depth video about microphone types and the use case scenarios for each of these types of microphones. A USB microphone is another convenient run and gun option that would eliminate the need for an audio interface if just a laptop, a USB microphone, and a pair of studio monitoring headphones is more your style. Next would be a good pair of studio monitoring headphones. I cannot stress enough the need for every artist to have one. The idea here is that headphones are your portable gate pass into any studio, right? Irrespective of the room and the surroundings. You need to pick up a studio monitoring or flat response headphone and train your ears to how commercial published songs or music in general sound on them. Then play around with your own voice and learn how it sounds while you're recording and post-recording. I personally have been using the Audio-Technica M50X headset for over 6 years now, and this allows me to walk into any studio, put on my headset, and instantly feel at home. And because I know what a song is supposed to sound like on a particular headset, it allows me to give inputs, and in turn, we get a better result. I've spoken to so many artists over the years, and they've invested in audio equipment, they've invested in microphones, they invested in studio monitors and all this jazz, and they don't invest in a decent pair of studio headphones. Then they're wondering why you don't get the desired result. And the answer is very simple: if you cannot hear what you're singing, you can't sing. So there you have it. Home studio setup or not, every artist, musician, singer, songwriter should have a pair of studio monitoring headphones that they can basically rely on. Next, if you plan to learn to process your own recordings and mix and master a track yourself, or just crave the extra level of clarity, in that case you would require a pair of studio monitors. Keep in mind that it is near impossible to accurately process, mix, master a track just using headphones. Just because simply headphones, no matter the cost or the quality, just cannot give you an accurate volume or frequency space representation. In choosing studio monitors, your room size will be the only deciding factor in terms of woofer size, which means the small to medium spaces should not exceed 5 to 7 inch woofer size. Here there are a wide range of brands to choose from, and in various price ranges and features that are offered. I personally use the Yamaha HS8s and would definitely recommend it to anybody who's working in a bigger space or would be open to investing in proper acoustic treatment. A quick tip here: once you decide to purchase studio monitoring speakers, acoustic treatment to avoid audio reflections and reverb becomes absolutely necessary to get accurate results. Next, if you're a music producer and you feel like it is something that you would like to venture into in the future, you would want to invest in a MIDI controller keyboard. This is basically a USB keyboard that would allow you to play virtual instruments directly from the DAW. However, as a singer, it would be nice to kind of have access to an instrument within the workstation itself to say quickly identify the scale of a song or a chord progression or something like that. Well, that concludes the gear selection part of the setup. Now let us look at the software side of things. The most important decision that you will need to make is the selection of the DAW or the digital audio workstation. This is the heart of any music production setup, and all your equipment essentially communicates with your DAW to perform any task. Typically, the way I look at it is that you put your years of experience into learning a particular DAW, and all the hardware keeps changing, but the DAW just gets updates, right? So the overall structure remains the same. So it's worth spending some time in that selection process and not just rushing into one. In choosing a DAW, you will have to look at convenience in terms of navigation through the UI, compatibility of the equipment. But in my personal opinion, you should just go with the DAW that your composer, music producer or a friend uses. In that case, you will be able to get much needed help and direction whenever it is required, and it will make your learning process much easier. I use Logic Pro. It's a Mac only software for my music production, and I would recommend that you get started on the free GarageBand DAW on Mac and eventually upgrade to Logic if that is something you're looking into. FL Studio is for Windows, and Studio One, Pro Tools, these are all good options. A quick note here, while buying your equipment, you have to look at the software bundles and plugins that come with certain gear that you buy, and it is the easiest way, in my opinion, to kind of get premium software to work with straight off the bat. So there you go, that's everything you need to get started. In my next video, we'll be discussing in depth of how to actually record a song or a voiceover once you have all the equipment for it, and we will also be looking at various ways to improve the quality of your vocal recordings. I will also be making more in-depth videos about the various equipments that we discussed today and their different use cases. So if this is the kind of information that maybe brings value to you, please hit the like button, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notified when more videos come out. And also do let me know in the comment section of other topics that you would like me to cover next. Till then, cheers and keep creating.